तब कथामृतं तप्त जीवनं कविभिडीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमंगलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः. Let us resume our discussion on Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual discourses with his intimate householder devotee M. Mahendranath Gupta, the recorder of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. This is extremely relevant discussion for our spiritual life. Whenever there is a very important dialogue in our scriptures, इसको उपनिषद में कहलाता है आश्चर्य वक्ता कुशलस्य लब्धा. Speaker should be competent, so is the hearer. Both parties should be competent. जो बोल रहे हैं, जो सुन रहे हैं, then only it will be meaningful. For example, there are many scriptures written, but the Bhagavad Gita is unique. Why? The speaker is स्वयं भगवान श्री कृष्ण और इसके साथ बातचीत हो रहा है वह अर्जुन, उनके सखा. Similarly, here in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna there are many dialogues everywhere, but here in this particular context is a dialogue between only two persons, M, the recorder of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and Sri Ramakrishna himself. We all know that Sri Ramakrishna is an avatar and the wisest person. But how about M? M also Sri Ramakrishna said that he is not an ordinary man. He is not like ordinary mortals born to become free. He is ever free being. He is an eternal companion of God. He comes again and again to propagate the message of Sri Ramakrishna, message of God. So their dialogue is to be read with intense longing and sincerity, the penetration, so that it becomes useful in our life. सिर्फ पढ़ने से कोई फ़ायदा नहीं है, जो पढ़ने के बाद समझना चाहिए और जीवन में अपनाना चाहिए, तभी इससे हमें कुछ फ़ायदा मिलेगा. This is not a story book or a novel or a fiction just to read and get some enjoyment. It is a message for life. जीवन में बदलाव लाना चाहिए ताकि इससे हम कुछ लाभान्वित हो सके. Now it depicts the common attitude of all human beings like you and me. We are here, we do our duties and do some good works also. It's not excluded. But we have to understand what is to be done and what is not to be done. There we get totally confused. This world is to say the least, a place of utter confusion. So many people are here who is telling to go right side, someone is telling go to left side, someone go to front, back. And we are totally confused, and at the end we end the world with frustration. So we have to get the guidance from no other than God Himself. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, King karma kim akanmeti kavayo patra mohitaha tattva jnanam prabhakshami jajgatva moksha se asubhat. What is to be done and what is not to be done. In this matter, even the wise kavayo, पहुँचा हुआ व्यक्ति, they are also deluded, confused. They will give contradictory advice. But I will tell you what is to be done, by which you will become liberated from this dubious world. Now here, taking an example, Mahendranath is saying, there are some benevolent people who do some charitable works. All parlor, in all understanding, this is a noble work. Swami Vivekananda also says, they alone live who live for others. So a person like here, Shambhu Malik, who was a benevolent person, he had a lot of money and he was making a lot of charitable activities by making schools, dispensaries, hospitals, roads, then monetary relief, donations, etc. In all understanding, it is a noble work, noble man. But he is not the ideal man. This is the corrective link Sri Ramakrishna is giving. We have to understand that what is our problem, what far have we come and how far have we achieved. We have to understand our merit and demerit, our plus point and negative point. Now the most interesting aspect of our life is that we are noble. We are no different than God. This is the fact. But none of us think that we are divine. We all think that we have certain shortcomings. Many people think that they are sinful persons, papi, और कुछ होने वाला नहीं है. Whereas everyone is nothing short than the divine. Statement of fact. Second point is, though we are divine, we have forgotten our divinity. That we accept. It is in reality, but it is not in the practice. हम लोग दैवी हैं, लेकिन वो हम भूल गए. That is acceptable. So what has to be done? We have to regain that awareness. This is all the job. We don't have to become divine. We are divine itself. That has to be accepted first. We have become so much deluded that not only we do not know that we are divine, we fail to accept our divinity. We deny ourselves. That is the tragedy of life. Now the question is, if we are divine, then who is doing this nuisance? Who has made us to forget our divinity? And the answer is, you will be surprised, God Himself. This is trick. He is divine. He has created this world after His image, and every one of us is divine. Now the difficulty is, the moment we realize we are divine, then the game is over. We will refuse to be deluded, we will refuse to be painful in our life. We will become happy, we will regain our glory, and we become identified with God. Then the world creation is lost. God wants that, He wants to play with us. So what is play to Him is death to us. But He wants to play with us by keeping this ignorance with us. That's why we are going back and forth. Being divine, we are behaving as animals. Being the Lord of the universe, everyone is behaving like a beggar, because of the sheer ignorance created by God Himself. This is called Maya. Nobody can explain how this stupid ignorance came to us. From beginning to end, we were divine. we are Satchidanand. Every scripture is saying, and many of us have heard it, many of us have believed it. But we cannot accept it in our life, day-to-day life. That is a tragedy. So the goal is to bring this knowledge to our day-to-day experience. जीवन में दिखाई देना पड़ना चाहिए that we are divine. Being divine, knowing divine, we cannot behave like the worst people. Our behavior, our acharan, our vani में दिखाई पड़ना चाहिए what we are. You don't have to pose or imitate or do something which you are not. दिखावटी के लिए जरूरत नहीं है. Many people pose which they are not. They are most debauchery people, most dishonest people, but they appear as very honest people. I am not telling that. I am just telling we have to behave as we are. And we have to know that this ignorance has been created by no other than God Himself. With strong veil, He says, Devi Hiyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Durattaya. This ignorance is very difficult to uncover. But He gives a link. He gives a way out. कैसे हम निकल जाएंगे उसके भी रास्ता बताया, उपाय बताया. माम एव ज प्रबद्धन्ते माया में तम तरन्ति. If anybody takes refuge in me, then I will show you the way out. बाहर निकल जाने का रास्ता बता दूंगा. तो what is the way out? Way out is to remember what we are, to remember our goal of life. We are divine, we are born to realize that divinity. Atma sachetanata, Atma jagrukta, self-awareness. We are learning so many things throughout the world. We have no doubt of Google knowledge, but we don't acknowledge ourselves. We don't have to know ourselves. We do not acknowledge ourselves. Who can help us? Being the Lord of the universe, we are behaving like a worst beggar. What has to be done? We have to realize our goal. What is that goal? To realize our divinity. Till then, it is in a theoretical sense at the moment. It is not practical. Practical means it will reflect in our life. Theory means we know it in our knowledge, in our brain, intellectual. Theoretical. Practical is the divinity should reflect in every moment of my action and thought and speech. So whatever we do must be oriented towards that goal. That is the job. जो हर पल हम लोग काम करते हैं, जो हम समझते हैं बहुत अच्छा कर्म है, एक बार जांच कर लेना चाहिए, ये क्या मेरे लक्ष्य में पहुंचने के लिए लाभदायी होगी. Now when we are engaged in this context, some charitable activities, good, very good. But the difficulty is, those who are engaged in charitable activities, they think this is the goal of their life. This is not the goal. That's what is being objected by Sri Ramakrishna. Now some people have made this their goal of life. Why? Because there is a joy. There is joy in doing good work. This is Sattvic karma. This we already explained. I need not go back again. That why people cannot give up doing good work, because our mind is threefold. Let me repeat. I have already told you. Our mind is threefold. We have mind has three constituents. मन का 3 उपादान है. वह सत्व, रजस, तमस. सत्व is poise, P-O-I-S-E, poise. Equanimity, मन की शांति भाव. The equanimity of the mind, मन का स्थिर भाव को poise कहलाता है. सत्व गुण कहलाता है. When the mind becomes quiet and calm, sometimes mind becomes calm on its own. That is the Swatta mode of mind. It is threefold, like a twine thread, three gunatmika. One is Sattva, poise, another is Rajas, dynamism, by which we work. Another is Tamas, inertia, by which we sleep. The three opposite constituents make up the mind, and each one has three signs. The mind becomes dominant by one of the three criterion, three qualities. Sometimes it is Sattva governed, sometimes it is Rajas governed, sometimes it is Tamas governed, and they will come by turn. You cannot help it. And there is definite the bio clock in our life where one or the other propensities get dominant. Now, when the mind is dominant by Sattva, then what happens? How do I feel? How do I realize? How do you know in which mode the mind is, in which switch is operating? That there are three signs in every guna. The signs for Sattva is purity, knowledge, joy. Some times of the day or night, the mind will automatically become very pure, शुद्ध होगा, साफ दिखाई पड़ेगा मन को, कभी कभी होता है. Then प्रकाश, स्वच्छता, प्रकाश, आनंद. These are the three लक्षणा of Sattva. तो मन की शांत भाव, मन की शुद्ध भाव, प्रकाश, then the mind becomes very attentive when you are in Sattva. But the difference when is Tamas, just the reverse. Tamas is, then comes the Rajas. Next point is Rajas. Its Lakshana is three: desire, action, restlessness. कभी कभी मन में आएगा, mind will become very very desirous of doing or achieving something, doing something. Some desire will be there, kamana vasana aega. This is automatic, this is natural for everyone. We need not get frustrated. Why one mind में, हमारा mind में इतना कामना क्यों आ रहा है? आना स्वाभाविक है. We have to know what is the one mind. So second is desire, action, restlessness. When you have a desire, you want to fulfill the desire with some action. When you do the action, mind will be restless. मन चंचल होगा, क्रियाशील होगा. And the third event is tamas, inertia. वो है inaction, dullness, delusion, कर्महीनता, आलस्य, जड़ता, मूढ़ता. Sometimes we feel drowsy and sleepy. At that time, if you take up some constructive work, it will not work. So the students are always advised not to do study when they are feeling sleepy. We do just the reverse. We take up sleep at the late night when we are dozing, drowsing, waste of time. Neither we can sleep nor we can study. So you have to understand your mind. What you are doing, you have to take the help of the mind. Do it when the mind is in that phase, when the mind is sattvic. There are times, slots. We have to cooperate. We cannot drive the mind whenever you want. The mind becomes swatik on its own automatically during early morning hours and in the evening when the day and night changes hands. It's the best time to do any constructive thinking, constructive work, early morning and evening. During the daytime, the mind is extremely active. You can do any constructive work. And in the night hours, mind becomes passive. The time for sleep and rest. If you orient our routine accordingly, we will be benefited. Now in Sattva, what happens when the mind is sattvic? Then there is a tremendous, I said, three lines: purity, knowledge, joy, anand. We wrongly think that we will be happy only by keeping in touch of some material or some person. किसी संयोग और संग्रह का माध्यम से हमें आनंद मिलेगा. इज अ रॉन्ग थिंकिंग. एवरीबडी थिंक्स in order to be happy they have to be in touch with a person or with some material, तभी सुख मिलेगा. ये गलत है. सुख कैसे मिलेगा? We are, our nature is Anand. We don't have to make ourselves happy. Try to know yourself. If our nature is sugar, the sugar does not need any sweetener to make it sweet. It is already sweet. It is our folly to think that we have to make happy. So what has to be done? We have to uncover that which suppress our happiness. So when the mind is sattvic, we will become happy on our own. Our intrinsic happiness will get manifested. And when does it happen? It happens when sattva is in force, early morning and evening. The day and night changes hands. If you happen to get up early morning, 1.5 hours before the sunrise, you feel very happy on your own, without needing anybody or any material. On your own you are feeling happy, because the source of happiness is within every one of us. सबके भीतर में आनंद का खान है. The mine of bliss within every one of us. You have to learn this to operate the switch by which the pump is operating, and from the inner source it comes forth. So sattva gives us joy. That is what I am saying. And when we are engaged in good activities, we derive that joy. Please try to understand that when we do some good activities, that's why it is recommended that do good work. It will make you happy on your own, because not for others, because your sattva gun will be in action. You are happy because of your own mind. Your mind will make you happy because you are engaged in good activities. Now charity is a good activity. So we are engaged in charity, doing good to others, then we feel joy. Now what is the catch? Catch is that this joy is not the ultimate joy. We have something more. That is the catch. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati. Sattvam makes us, sattva is also a guna, binds us down. Our goal is to enjoy Trigunatmika. Our goal is to enjoy the company of divine, God. God is not sattva. God is a step, sattva is a step towards sattva. So sattva is also a bondage. So when we are engaged in sattvic activity, we become happy, but that is the last draw. That also has to be transcended. They give an example that when you are trying to climb to the roof, you take steps. Now the lower step is tamas. You climb higher. The second step is rajas. You climb higher. Last step is sattva. But then you have to leave that step also to get onto the roof. If you stay on this step, that is not roof. So we will have to dispense with sattva also. Why? Because sattva and rajas and tamas will come by turn. You cannot enjoy sattva alone in your mind, because mind is constituted with 3 elements. So sattva will be dominated by rajas, because throughout the day is not the early morning and evening. When it come night, then tamas will take over and your joy is gone. So the joy is not in your control. Sattvic joy is not in your control. You have no control on the Prakriti. It comes on its own and goes. You have to be joyful by your own will, by transcending these gunas and getting in touch with the divine. So fix that goal in my mind. I have to enjoy that which is myself. Now, every one of us has to acknowledge that our goal of life is to be happy. There is no one, there cannot be anyone who says that I do not want to be happy. But that is our nature. So we want to be happy, that is good. But we have to understand what is happiness. आनंद किसको कहलाता है? आनंद का 3 डायमेंशन है. उपनिषद जैसे जो वही भूमा तत्सुखम नाल्पे सुखम अस्ति. Please try to register. There is no harm, you strive for happiness, but don't get cheated. Swami Vivekananda says, this Maya is a great cheat. It gives you something, saying that happiness, and when you open, it becomes totally bogus. So what is the dimension, what is the definition of happiness? It should be infinite. Jo bhai bhuma, like sky. There is no bounds. Whatever joy is truncated, finite, reject that. Because when your joy is over, you will become frustrated. You want a joy which is possible, which is unlimited. First condition. Second condition is, it should be continuous, not interrupted. Whatever joy we get in this world, either in company of a person or getting a material, it has a beginning and has an end. That is the difficulty. It ends sometime. When it ends, we become frustrated. So we want that happiness which will be continuous and which will be infinite. Now, you might ask, if I get some sensual enjoyment, how do you say that it is not maximum? I have the full satisfaction. The question is that how are you enjoying that happiness? By your body, by your sense organs. You have eyes, ears, nose, your tongue, your skin. By that you are enjoying. So the instruments with which you are enjoying this happiness in this world is limited. Don't you agree? You have a pair of eyes, limited. So they designed that, all right, let us imagine of a God's life where the enjoy will be much more. So they imagine that the Lord of the gods will be Indra, Sahasrakshi, he has 1,000 eyes. So his joy of vision is 500 times more than us, because you have 500 pairs of eyes. We have one pair. But then 1,000 is also limited number, is finite, is not infinite. So after he has exhausted his 1,000 eyes, then what happens? It ends, it gets truncated and will be frustrated. So this physical body can never give you unlimited joy because it is limited. This is incompetent to give us unlimited joy. So our goal is to have unlimited joy. Let us fix our goal. Let us not talk about how to get it. Goal fixing is necessary. That's what Sri Ramakrishna says. पहले आपको निर्धारण करना चाहिए आपको क्या चाहिए होगी, कहाँ तुम्हारा मंजिल कहाँ है. एक है इन्फिनिट जॉय, जॉय अनबाउंड. दूसरा है निरंतर आनंद. जो भी कुछ हमें आनंद मिलेगा दुनिया में, चक्रावत बर्तनते सुखानी च दुखानी च, बराबर दिन नहीं रहेगा, दिन रात बदलते रहेंगे. बट वी वांट ए पीरियड वेयर देयर इज नो सेटिंग ऑफ द सन. Every time, 24 hours, the sun will be sky. निरंतर होना चाहिए. Third point, that it should not have any reaction. Any joy in this world is followed by a depression, reaction. If it is sensual, the knowledge of God is not having this. Then the question is it possible to have such a state where you will have joy, unlimited joy and continuous joy without any reaction? Yes, it is possible. That is the joy of the divine. So far what was being said, the joy of human. जो धरती पर जो आनंद मिलता है वो सीमित है, और भगवान के साथ जो आनंद मिलता है वो असीमित है. Our goal is to have that unlimited joy. That is our goal. Present status, we are not enjoying that. Third question, is it possible for us to have that joy? The answer is very much possible. In fact, we are born to enjoy that bliss, which is our birthright. It is our birthright to have that joy for which we are born. That is the goal of human life. You have to understand, this is the goal of human life, not for animal life. This enjoyment of unlimited joy is not possible in animal form. And human birth, it is our scriptures say that 84 लाख जनियों के बाद मनुष्य जन्म मिलता है. मनुष्य जन्म मिलना इतना आसान नहीं है. Though we do not acknowledge, though we have forgotten, we do not realize how fortunate we are. 84 lakhs of species are there, coming from the plants and worms and birds and the animals, fish. Out of 84 lakhs of specimen, finally the human birth is possible. What is the beauty of the human birth? This creature only is capable for realizing God. भगवान लाभ करने के लिए 3 चीज का जरूरत होता है. Prerequisite. We have set up all bogus prerequisite. 3 conditions are necessary to realize God. First is human birth. Stand before a mirror and ask, is it the form of a human? If it is, you are eligible. 33% over. Second is, you have to have a company of the holy, the person who guides you the right way. Here we have Sri Ramakrishna with us. He is with us, he is guiding us to the right channel. And third requirement is, we have got 66.66. Third subject, we miserably fail. What it says? The believe in yourself. It says the desire, mumukshuttam, the desire to realize your goal. How you fail? We become deluded. That's what I said. That is the topic of today. Why we fail to realize our divinity? Because on coming to this world, we are completely deluded and we are frustrated of our goal. Now we have so many goals have been set in our life. Someone thinks that he has to become an engineer, some a doctor. So there is no harm in becoming. That's not the ultimate goal. We get confused. We think that that is our ultimate goal of life. So whatever you want to do it. But think that is a secondary goal. Primary goal is to realize God, to realize the divinity for which you are born. You are not born here to become a professor, a doctor, or an engineer, or do some charitable activity. There is a way of achieving the goal. We have confused our life by making the way as the goal. यही है बात. जहाँ हमारे भगवान तक पहुँचने का मार्ग है, मार्ग को हम उसको लक्ष्य बना लिया. So here he says, a person has gone to Kali Ghat, Kali's temple. Those who have visited Kolkata, they know is one of the most auspicious temple of Kolkata. Very old. The temple of Ma Kali, Mother Kali. Now there is this long stream of beggars standing there. So those who go, they naturally give some money. As you go to any temple, you go to Banaras and any people, you go to Hanuman Setu, there are long people standing, sitting for charity. There is no harm in giving some charity. But if you spend your time by charity only, when will you see the deity? That is the question has been raised here by Sri Ramakrishna. If your aim is said to doctor, the doctor is Mahendralal Sarkar, very intelligent man, renowned homeopathic doctor, physicist, was looking after Sri Ramakrishna. The doctor said it is a very good work to do charity. He was questioned, if your aim is to visit the image of Mother Kali, what will you gain by spending all your time in giving alms to the poor by the roadside? रास्ते में बहुत सा भिखारी बैठे हुए हैं, आप दिन भर आपको दान ही करते रहें और काली मंदिर बंद हो गया. So what is to be done? First you had better somehow visit the image Afterwards, you may give alms to your heart's content. So, priority has to be fixed. That is the aim to life. भगवान लाभ करना ही जीवन का प्राथमिक उद्देश्य है. But we have made the प्राथमिक secondary. We think अरे बाद में दिखा जाएगा. अभी क्या है? अभी after retirement I will go. By the retirement you are gone. The most foolish thing, change the priority. We are all eligible. Nobody is. I told the condition of eligibility. You have a human birth and help of the divine. We have got it. Third subject, we misery will fail because we miss the priority. And that delusion is created by God. We have shown some the very attractive goals in front. Look, it's a high salaried job, and there is no harm in getting the job. But don't stop there. Don't get compromised. We get satiated, compromised. We think that far and no further. That is the mistake of life. Do whatever you want. Go ahead. But stop not till the goal is reached. For you, the goal orientation is most important. Fix that goal. My goal is to see the God. What is it, God? Ultimate joy, which is within. I must realize who I am. Is it a wrong thing to ask? Is it a wrong thing to ask to know who you are? It is your property, birthright to know who you are. It's your bank account. You must know what is your bank account. Ignorance is not the excuse. I do not know. No, you must know. You are being told. What has to be done? That set the goal correct. I will not get compromised. Whatever I get, I will accept. I will not reject. But I will not stop there. Ask, is it the ultimate goal I want? The test has to be done. What is the test? Is it permanent or is it transient? How do you know that the joy which you have got is it divine joy or mundane joy? It is told in the Bhagavad Gita, Jang labdva chaparam labham mannate nadikam tatah. Jasmin sthito nadukkena guru napi bichallate tad vidyad. Yoga Sanishchana yuktabo yogo anebinna chetasa. We are going to a journey to achieve the goal, and the goal is what? By getting which we feel satiated. Whenever you get an enjoyment which says that is enough, I don't want anything else, know that you have achieved the goal. And if there is any misery in this world, it cannot touch you. Jasmin sthito nadukhena guru napi bichallate. Any amount of displeasure, discord, misfortune in life cannot move you because you have got the ultimate divine. Check. We become frustrated once in a while. अरे ये हो गया वो हो गया, मतलब तुम भगवान को मिला नहीं. भगवान का अगर मिल गया होगा और कुछ परवाह नहीं है, आप आनंद में भरपूर हो जाओगे. Nobody has to tell you whether you are full or not. It is told the story. One person went to see the king. To reach door, there is a very beautiful looking officer. The person was asking the companion, is it the king? He said, no. Let us go forward. But when ultimately he saw the king, he need not have any asking. He need not ask. He was instantly convinced this is the king. Because he has convinced. Getting the joy divine ends all your question. You know by yourself, yes, you have reached the goal. You don't have to ask. All questions cease. And you become blessed in life. Sri Ramakrishna is inviting all of us to enjoy that blessing in this life and here it, not later or in future life. And we can do it, provided we have the will for it. And we pray to the divine to generate that desire, that longing, that will in us, so that we stop not till the goal is reached. We continue further in our next Sunday class. Niranjanam nityam ananta rupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai ishavataram parameshamidyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namama. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Any question? If you have any question later on, please let us know by an email. You can collect the email from Prahladji, rkml@rkml.org. We'll be happy to interact with you. Now let us close the session with a chanting of the Lord. Please join with me. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om Ramakrishna, Hari Om. Thank you.